I'm in Clallam County, Washington. Clallam is the only county in America to have voted for the person who won the presidency every election cycle since 1980. This is what we call a bellwether county. We came to Clallam a year ago to talk to people about how they were feeling heading into the election year. And at that time, we heard a lot of frustration, even anger, about how the political system in both parties had produced a rematch of Biden and Trump. But obviously, a lot has changed since then. Clallam has a unique mix of Democrats, Republicans, and folks who don't identify with either party, which is the reason that a lot of people here have understood both sides for a long time. And so, with the election just a few days away, I decided to come back to talk to some people who we spoke to last year, but also some new folks, to get a sense of how the larger electorate might move.
We have a really interesting blend of people who've come from cities like me, people who've grown up here. I think a majority of the people from my experience who've grown up here lean conservative. The people who've moved here lean liberal.
Have you voted already?
Yes.
Who'd you vote for?
Kamala. For a long time I've considered myself an independent, but to me, unfortunately, there's rarely independents that are strong enough.
I'm going to vote for Trump, not because of Trump, but his policies. I've seen this man over the years, and it's like, but his policies, they worked. Vance is, I think, if he goes through, he could be the next president. You know, he wasn't born in the 50s and raised in the 60s. He knows that the world's different now.
Likely I'm going to vote Democrat on this one. I mean, I definitely do not want to support Trump, and I would be more afraid of Trump's America. It's more that I don't feel represented by either candidate ultimately, and I do feel kind of like the Democratic Party has been now running a couple of times on, well, we're not Trump, lesser of two evils.
Is there a reason you feel kind of less into the party maybe now than you have previously?
Yeah, I mean the wars, I would say, is, and especially everything going on with Israel and Palestine.
What would you say your biggest issue was in this race?
Donald Trump is so far from being qualified to do anything, let alone spend his life in prison.
Security is one of them. Being a secure nation, it's with all the immigration they brought in. They're in certain areas, and they're overwhelming cities. So can that happen here?
It is like LGBTQ rights. It is women's rights. It's those issues that are going to influence people in my actual life, people I know, my neighbors, my best friends, my family.
What do you think is something that's changed from last year to now for you when you think about the election?
I'm glad it's not Biden. I really didn't think he was going to win. I didn't have the confidence of him versus Trump.
Well, I think the transition from Biden to Harris was stunning. I'm very pro what her policies and platforms seem to be. I think it's much more geared towards average people and what we need and what we're lacking from our government at this point in time.
When it comes to issues, for a lot of Republicans, the economy and inflation's top of mind, and things like curbing illegal immigration. On the Democratic side, we continue to hear reproductive rights as the top reason for folks voting. But if there's a big difference between last year and now, I think the reality of global conflict has come up much more, and that wasn't really true last year. Right now, there's a lot of attention on the battleground states, but for most people, they're only really ingesting this presidential election from afar, and that's why I think it's important to go to people where they are and to see what type of things are cutting through the noise.